Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. So I have news on the code front. Despite what some of you in the comments have been saying, we have not given up. We are still working tirelessly to try and decipher more information from the puzzle than we otherwise have. Now, one of the things that we have done, obviously, is we've completely almost decoded the entire thing. We are currently only missing, by the way, number 26. That is the only one we are missing, is number 26 at this particular point. We are starting to work on other things. Like, for instance, we definitely have a code, in the title. You guys already know that. I talked about that code earlier. I'm trying not to spoil the other code that I recently discovered. That's right. I discovered another code. And I'm going to go over really quickly how I discovered that code and what the hell's going on. So to do that, I need to take you over to the differing tab of our community Excel sheet. I'm always going to say this every single time. I'm never trying to take credit over other people's work. This was a combined effort, as you can see right here, a combined effort for a GGM community Diablo 2 Resurrected Mystery Cipher by Wolf and GGM and Co. Obviously, Co is indicating of all the people that have worked on this project so far. I definitely acted as a focal point for everything, and I did a lot of work myself, but it was a community effort. So in our effort to confirm everything, because when you're dealing with codes, you don't want errors. Errors can lead to bad things. So, obviously we want to make sure we get all the numbers, which we still need number 26. So please, all of you guys out there, if you find 26, please turn it in. Screenshot included, please. We've also been confirming numbers, reconfirming numbers. And in the process of reconfirming numbers, we have come across some very crazy stuff. And that crazy stuff involves people providing us with screenshots of two different numbers for the same slot. I know, crazy, right? This is coming from Blizzard. So Blizzard is sending us these numbers. Each one of these numbers is supposed to be in a specific location. Like, for instance, this one here is supposed to be in 004. However, we have two different 004s. We have 004 411115 and 004 411215. And we've gotten quite a few of these where it's not just a typo, where we have gotten confirmation from multiple sources of two different codes coming from Blizzard, which shouldn't be the case for an Ottendorf cipher. So I was sitting there thinking about it, and it really kind of bugged me because it didn't make any sense. If it was a typo, if somebody sent us a code, if somebody did something weird, and messed around with stuff or photoshopped something or whatever it may be, it might be like one or two. But in this particular case, we have 9. Exactly 9. And so I started to think to myself, well, 9 is the same exact number of digits in the Ottendorf cipher. The Ottendorf cipher is, of course, the 3 digits that indicate the place, the 2 digits that indicate the page, the 2 digits that indicate the line, and the 2 digits that indicate the actual word, right? So I started to count up the number of errors, and there were repeats of the errors. It was the same words over and over again that were coming in 2 different times. Some of them were only once, some of them were only twice, some of them were 3 times, some of them were 4 times. Whatever it may be, they were repeating multiple times, but there were 9 differing problems that were existing within the code. Now, we took the one that made the most sense and put it into the actual body of the text. But what about the other one? What about the one that was an error? Was it really an error? So I started to think to myself, and I started to figure out that maybe it wasn't an error. So I started to utilize the code, and I started to figure out that, well, there was something else to it. By using the code and figuring out how many times something repeated, and looking very carefully at each individual word, I was able to figure out that there was a hidden message within the errors. And it's not exactly the most amazing message out there, but it is still another message. And it leads us to believe, well, there may be more messages hidden within the body of the text. So here we have, I'm going to explain very briefly how I came to this result. Hopefully you guys will be able to follow me. So the order of the page is all the same, of course, because each one of these is for the same location. However, the page number differs for only one. So as you can see here, 0, 3, and 30 are the only ones that have a differing page number. All the other ones have the same page number, 69 and 69, 26 and 26, and 41 and 41, and so forth. Some of them, specifically this one, has a different line, so 11 and 12. And then there is also 7 and 8, okay? So this is two different ones that represent the line. Then we only had one with the eternal that had the change in the actual page number. Or sorry, the word number. So we had an error, but the error was in a different place in each one of the errors. And it seemed to be deliberate by Blizzard. So I decided to try and take this for what it was worth and combine together the errors, only the errors. So for instance, for the wrong ones, I combined together 30 with 12 and 8. So we ended up with 30, 12, 8. For the non-errors, I combined it together and got 30, 11, 8. I got 3, 12, 7. And I ended up with, when I was finished, I ended up with 4 numbers. 2 error and 2 correct. I ended up with 3, 12, 7, 3, 7, 7, 30, 12, 7, and 37, 7. And these are the Ottendorf Cipher numbers, which I then applied to the manual. When I looked up each one, I came up with Own Wisdom Blizzard the. And after rearranging them in the correct order, according to the actual order in which they were in, I came up with the Wisdom Blizzard Own, which didn't quite seem right. At which point I kind of reordered it into Blizzard Own the Wisdom. Now, it cannot be a coincidence that the errors literally not only have the word Blizzard in it, which is the company name, but also specifically seem to be talking about the lore. So this message that they put in here is almost like a humble brag, so to speak, hidden within everything, basically saying that Blizzard owns the wisdom. Blizzard essentially owns all the lore, right? It makes sense. And this begs the question of how many more secret messages are there in the code? How many more secrets? How many more secrets are there hiding in this thing? Is there a Herodra Cube recipe? Is there potentially more than just simply Act 4? I mean, we all assume that this right here is probably the plot to Act 4. We're assuming this. We don't know specifically. We kind of take our guesses. As you can see, we have some of our guesses here on the side as to what potentially this could mean, but we don't know exactly. But it seems like Blizzard has more in mind than just simply giving us text. There is a lot going on here that is very strange, and I'd like to go over some of it really quickly with you. I don't want to spend too much of your time. One thing that is very interesting is the word perfect and the word flawless. Perfect and flawless don't represent the prime evils. They don't represent the lesser evils. But in this particular poem, they do. Anytime that a prime evil is talked about, when it says here, the 3 perfect, it is talking about the prime evils. Anytime it says the flawless, it is talking about the lesser. And then anytime it seems to be talking about something that is less than the lesser, it seems to say the flawed. And it can't be a coincidence that they are using terminology that doesn't quite match what's supposed to be there, in that there may be something specifically hidden inside the text that we have yet to find. And I'm doing my best to see if I can decipher it. We're literally on our Discord. If you want to join us, we are constantly talking about this. People come up with an idea. Everyone puts their brain to work. We either shoot it down, obviously, if it has no merit, or we explore it. If we find a thread, we pull it. And that's what happened with Blizzard Own the Wisdom. I literally found a thread, started to pull on the thread, and ended up with a sentence. And the sentence actually makes sense because they literally, what did they do? They gave us lore, right? They gave us the wisdom. They gave us the wisdom of the game, of all the games. Diablo 1, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, and supposedly Diablo 4. And then we have this message, which is kind of like a humble brag by Blizzard, where they're literally like, well, you know, Blizzard owns the wisdom. Blizzard owns all the wisdom. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my video. I just wanted to make a quick update on, the progress that we've made so far. If you'd like to contribute, you always can. We are still missing the number 26. We definitely need number 26. And we also have numbers that have been not confirmed. We need screenshots. So if you guys get any of these numbers, 541, 425, 424, 368, 353, 212, 206, 204, 144, or 26. Please submit them. You can submit them to me on Discord or honestly anybody on Discord. Wolfie is on there. There's quite a few people on there, and they will eventually filter back to me anyway. Or you can even email it to me, gingergamingmentor@gmail.com. I'll take emailed ones too. I think that's pretty much it. I would like to hear what you guys have to think about the absolutely silly thing that I decoded. Even when I finished decoding it, I was so excited. And when I finished decoding it and I got the message and I realized what it was, I kind of just hung my head in shame because I knew that I had decoded something, but it was silly. It was a silly thing to decode. And there's probably more hidden within this thing too, but I'm sure we'll find it eventually. As always, thanks for watching. And if you want to keep watching, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really helps.